أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to our classroom today. I hope and pray that everyone is doing very well. Jazakumullah for joining the class on time. We will begin with our opening prayer. So we'll have a student to the mic now. Can we have 3119, please? The mic.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine as well. So let's start with Dawood. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Good. Translation.
I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the rejected.
Good. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Good. Translation.
In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful.
Well done. ربي علمني ما هو خير عندك.
ربي علمني ما هو خير عندك.
Excellent. Good. Well done. And the translation, please.
O my Lord, teach me what is best for me in your knowledge.
Good. Where's this prayer from?
Tazkirah.
Nazirah. Excellent. Good. Well done. Jazakumullah for reading that for us today. Allah Hafiz. Okay. I'm sure everybody knows the class etiquettes and rules. Please do make sure that you have done wudu before you enter the classroom today. You should be wearing clean clothes and heads are covered appropriately. Please make sure of that. And please also ensure that you're sitting in a nice and quiet place with your parents, using your correct ID to have logged in today. If you're logged in with your incorrect ID or just your name or your device's name, then please make sure that you rename yourself, okay? That's really important. Okay, so today's schedule for the class is as follows. We are going to be starting off by looking at our rule in focus. And today we are carrying on with the rule of Leen, which you started in yesterday's class. And today we are going to be focusing on Leen. And today's material for today's class, and if you'd like to look at this rule in more detail, you can refer to the Talimul-Qur'an book, page number 71 to 72. And then in your breakout rooms, you'll be covering Surah Al-Ma'idah, verses 23 to 27, inshallah. And then please do make sure you come back so that I can assign you the homework for today's class. Okay, so soft elongation or Leen. Okay, either of those wording is fine. Okay, in English it's known as soft elongation, and in Arabic Leen. So yesterday we learnt that there are two letters known as Haruful Leen. In Arabic, it's known as Haruful Leen, and in English, they are known as letters of ease. Okay, and the word Leen is an Arabic word that means to ease into something, okay, to ease into a sound. So Haruful means letters and Leen means ease. So they're known as letters of ease, Haruful Leen. Okay, so it's really important that you start learning these words and terms, okay? Okay, so yesterday we learned about one of those letters of ease. So we learned about Leen. So there are two letters of ease in total. So you've learned one yesterday, which was Leen, and today we are looking at the next type. So we're looking today at Leen, which is the other type of Leen, letter of Leen, okay, or Haruful Leen. So we have Leen and Leen, and today we are focusing on Leen. Okay, so let's start off with the short stroke of fatha. So in the green box over here, you can see that we have the short stroke of fatha, slanted stroke placed on top of a letter. A short stroke of fatha is always one count. Okay, we know this. This is one of the first lessons that we learned. It was about the short strokes, and we learned that short strokes should be pronounced for one count. In the next box over here, we see a ya carrying a sukoon. So it's known as a ya sakin. Okay, a letter carrying a sukoon is known as a sakin letter. So this is a ya sakin. When the short stroke of fatha is followed by a ya sakin, as you can see over here, then that ya sakin will now be known as a ya leen. Okay, so the condition of a ya leen is that you must have a ya sakin and the letter before must carry a fatha. Then only will that be known as a ya leen. Okay, so if we see a ya sakin, we must always look at the letter before it. If it carries a fatha, then that ya sakin will now be known as a ya leen. So note the difference. On the right, we see a ya sakin, and on the left, this is ya leen. Okay, so both are ya sakin, but the only difference between the two is what stroke the letter before carries. So you can see over here that ya sakin, letter before, carries a fatha, so it's known as a ya leen. That is the difference, okay? This is ya sakin on its own. Over here we have ya sakin, but the letter before carries a fatha, so it's a ya leen. Fatha is a short stroke, as we know, and it takes one count timing, and it describes a certain sound. Okay? And ya leen causes the easing of the sound of the maftu letter into the ya, and it takes a timing of 2 seconds or 2 counts. Okay? So ya leen causes the easing of the sound. So you would start off with the sound of the fatha on top of the letter, and then you would ease into the sound of the ya leen. Okay? So that is how you would pronounce a ya leen, and a ya leen would be pronounced for 2 counts. Okay? So you wouldn't just pronounce it and move on. You have to take your time for 2 counts to pronounce that ya leen. Okay, so let's have a look at an example of ya leen. Over here, we have lam with a fatha. So this is a maftu lam, and it takes a timing of 1 count. So we would pronounce this as la, la. Okay, so quick short sound. So this is la. Now next to that, again, we have lam with a fatha, a maftu lam, but now we have a ya sakin straight after it. And we've just learnt that if we see a ya sakin and the letter before carries a fatha, then that is now known as a ya leen. So over here, we have a maftu lam with a ya leen straight after it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with that same sound, la, but now we're going to ease into the sound of the ya sakin and the ya leen. Okay, so we're going to say lay, la, lay. Yeah, you can see how the sound changes when we see a ya leen straight after a maftu letter. And as I said before, we have to take our time, and the timing for a leen, the rule of ya leen, is 2 counts. So we would pronounce this for 2 counts. So rather than saying lay, we're going to say lay. Yeah. So we're going to take our time, take a total of 2 seconds or two counts to pronounce this ya leen. Okay, so let's have a look at another example. Over here, we have a maftu ba. Ba with a fatha, maftu ba. Maftu ba. And this produces the sound for 1 count. So we would pronounce this as ba, ba. All right, so next we have again the letter ba with a fatha, maftu ba. But this time it has a ya leen straight after it. How do we know this is a ya leen? Because it is a ya sakin and the letter before carries a fatha. So this is a ya leen. Okay, so we have a maftu ba with a ya leen straight after it. So we're going to start off with the sound of the ba and ease into the sound of the ya leen. And we're going to pronounce that for how long? 2 counts. Bay, bay. Okay, your sound goes up and across. Bay. So this is ba, bay. Okay, listen one more time. Ba, bay. Okay, make sure you take your time of 2 seconds or 2 counts to produce that ya leen. Okay, so that was the rule of ya leen. If you see a ya sakin and the letter before carries a fatha, that is known as a ya leen now. Okay, and our sound will last for 2 counts when producing the sound of ya leen. And in our practice text today, in which we are covering Surah Al-Ma'idah, we have lots of different examples of ya leen in these verses of this surah. So your teacher in your breakout room will of course point them out for you. But just to show you a few examples, over here we have an example of ya leen. Okay, how do we know this is a ya leen? Because it's a ya sakin and the letter before, the lam, carries a fatha. So this is a ya leen. So we're going to pronounce this as lay, alay. Okay, same thing over here. We have a ya sakin and the letter before carries a fatha. So this is now known as a ya leen. So the rule of ya leen is going to be applied, and we're going to apply the sound for 2 counts. Lay, alay. Okay, so those were just 2 examples which you will find in the Holy Quran of the rule of ya leen, where we have to really be careful. Have a look at the ya sakin, look at what stroke the letter before carries. If it's a fatha, then that is known as a ya leen, and we will produce a sound for 2 counts. Okay. All right, so now we're going to make our way into the breakout rooms, and you'll be covering Surah Al-Ma'idah verses 23 to 27, please, with your teachers. Okay. All right, Jazakumullah, everybody. Please make sure you come back at the end for the homework. And if I could please request the breakout rooms to be open now.